Chick flicks that came out in the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s have all had similar kinds of plots. Successful, smart, and beautiful women meet witty, averagely handsome men. The women are usually ambitious, but when they fall in love, they realize that if they don't want that high status career, what they really want is marriage. While there's nothing wrong with the idea of getting married with the purpose of a partnership with someone that you love and trust, the problem is the way that engagement and marriage becomes such a focus and almost an obsession for these female protagonists. You don't remember how successful they were before because of their sudden shift in focus to finding love, getting married, and happy endings. Some examples of chick flicks are Leap Year, starring Amy Adams, Sex and the City, starring Sarah Jessica Parker, and 27 Dresses, starring Katherine Heigl. Chick flick was structured in a way that it complemented post-feminism very well. Post-feminism uses third-wave feminism framing, but without the political argument. It assumes that gender equality has been reached and that women now have the choice to be anything they want. But if they fail, the onus is on them because they had the choice and the mobility, so something must be wrong with them and not society. This is really problematic because it glosses over intersections of oppression like race, class, and gender, make it seem like there are no barriers to achieving your dreams. It focuses on the individual, which distracts us from critiquing the systemic problems. Context is a chick flick. The women portrayed are either white or whitened and shown as successful, and their mobility is never questioned. They can move through spaces without problem. In chick flicks, post-feminism works in a way that it shows women can be successful, but they always seem to end up choosing the traditional roles in the end. At the same time that chick flicks were being released left and right, 500 Days of Summer was released in 2009. Arguably, this could be considered a chick flick. Summer, played by Zooey Deschanel, is white, middle class, and exercises mobility. She explicitly says she's moved around and simply because she becomes bored. She appears to be middle class and working, but her mobility is never questioned. I mean, how the heck could she afford moving that many times by being a receptionist? Additionally, she opts for marriage in the end, which scholar Laurie Naranch says is a staple for post-feminist chick flicks. The difference with Summer is although she gets married, the way that her character progressed to that point in her life is very different from chick flick characters' experiences. Summer asserts herself and locates herself in the world based on what she wants and not in relation to anyone else, especially men.
You just do what you want, don't you?
Yes, Tom, yes she does. And why shouldn't she? So to give you a little bit of context, 500 Days of Summer is basically about a woman who is free-spirited and doesn't really like to make big commitments.
Hey, I just want to tell you that, I'm not really looking for anything serious.
And so they fall in love, but also fall out of love. Summer ends up marrying someone else, and Tom ends up moving on. Romantic marriage ending is typical for a chick flick because although the female protagonists are so successful and ambitious, the threatening images become mitigated through portrayals of their longing of the traditional roles as a wife under a male counterpart. To me, this kind of imposes the idea onto women, saying that being in the public sphere isn't really as rewarding as being back in the domestic sphere, and that takes away the agency that they held in their independent lives. And in post-feminist chick flicks, it can seem like they're exercising independence by choosing their romantic love over their careers, but it just brings women back to traditional fantasies that we can only find happiness in true love in marriage. According to author Katherine Driscoll, the bride is thus central to dominant discourses on feminine desire, predicated on a woman's impossible but ideal passivity, which disavow the bride's mobility by constructing her as waiting for love. In this quote, Driscoll does a good job in exemplifying how the idea that women's search for the fulfillment in marriage becomes immobilizing for women, as this idea makes it seem like anything a woman does up until she gets married doesn't really matter as much as that wedding day. Driscoll's point actually relates to one of Laura Mulvey's major critiques of mainstream cinema, which is that they usually portray a passive female and an active male. The male is usually the one who does something to get the plot going in these films.
His entire life
We're getting married in 3 weeks!
3 weeks? She's gonna want me to do everything.
is making other people happy.
We went by the flower shop.
Yep.
And ordered the favors.
You cannot plan your sister's wedding to the man you love. It is sick. I'm gonna kick her.
They're earrings.
Yeah.
I'm going to Dublin to propose to my boyfriend.
So in 27 Dresses, Jane ends up planning her sister's wedding to the man she loves because she is still hopelessly pining for that same man. And similarly, Anna in Leap Year goes all the way to Dublin because her boyfriend didn't propose. All the plots revolve around something that the man does. He doesn't even have to be the protagonist in the film for him to have that power. And then we have Summer Finn, who is actually the one that moves the plot along. She's the one who initiates all the big events. She asked him if he liked her, which then progressed their friendship and established a basis for their relationship, which was again progressed when Summer initiated the coffee room kiss. Tom ends up being the one waiting for love, hanging on Summer's every word. Tom actually ends up playing the passive role, while Summer plays a dominant role in their relationship. When Summer gets married, it's difficult to compare to a chick flick character who ties the knot, because she doesn't spend the whole movie doing wedding dress photo shoots like Carrie in Sex and the City, or Jane in Distress Over Love in 27 Dresses, or Anna in Leap Year anticipating her boyfriend to pop the question over dinner right at the start of the film. Summer's wedding didn't play a large part in the film. The weddings in other films mentioned are extravagant. They're shopping at high-end bridal stores and have very flashy-looking ceremonies. For Summer, all we see is the fact that she is in her wedding dress and the moment where the groom lifts her veil and makes the marriage official. The role of the wedding ceremony wasn't emphasized at all. We don't even get to see her whole wedding dress. Only a moment is dedicated to this part of the film, which also sets her apart from the chick flick bride, where weddings are the constant focus. And this is important because the woman as a consumer always marks big events in her life. It marks big change and independence in post-feminist chick flicks. By not having this aspect of consumerism on her wedding day, the only aspect that's important is the fact that she has just promised to spend the rest of her life with someone that she loves. It also enforces the idea that Summer didn't just gain her independence at the day of her wedding, but that she had it all along.
I like being on my own. Relationships are messy and people's feelings get hurt. Who needs it?
Summer is different because she questions the traditional ideals of love and marriage and doesn't allow social expectations of her as a woman to affect her opinions and choices. The first time I watched this film, I found her very odd, and I think that's very telling. I found her odd because she wasn't looking for anything serious, and when she started getting involved with Tom, I didn't feel that she was as invested in the relationship as he was. I found her odd because she didn't take up that passive role. She didn't drop everything to be with a man. Summer Finn interrupts the narrative of romantic marriage in mainstream film as immobilizing for women, because it is a decision that she makes because she felt it was at the right time, and not because it would fill a gap or void in her life.